They postponed it. It's not
First
until
of
the
all,
7th.
Okay, I'll go ahead and call to order the special meeting for tonight for appointing a fire chief and approving and authorizing the purchase of bunker gear for the fire department. First point on the agenda of the two that we have is the appointing of a fire chief. And if I could get consent of council, I would like to appoint Jeff Wisdom as the new fire chief. Having spoken to him and the fighters that we have, they said that they would back him as fire chief, and we're pleased with that concept. So if I could get consent of council, that would be fantastic.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion that we appoint Jeff Wisdom as the new fire chief for the Pleasanton Fire Department.
I'll second.
It's been moved and seconded to consent to the appointing of Jeff Wisdom as the new fire chief for the city of Pleasanton. Any discussion?
Yeah, I do. Jeff, can you come to the podium so I can ask some questions, please? I'm not sure if everybody knows your background, so can you tell us a little bit about your background, please?
I've been on the county fire department for almost 15 years now. Been anywhere from just the firefighter to lieutenant's position to a captain's position for like 6 years, 7 years, in charge of Station 920. Then now I'm back to a firefighter there as well. I have been a promoter for the fire department countywide, going to different, before Chief Hegwell come in, I was going to different towns trying to promote the fire department. I'm going to try to promote the Pleasanton City Fire Department as much as I can. I stated that from the get-go that I was going to back Chief Watts, and I want to thank him for all of the efforts that he put forth. I talked to the firefighters, I said, we've got to get some unity going before we can start moving forward, and that's going to be from the bottom all the way to the top. We've got to start working together to get this moving in the right direction. So, with that, I have not got them to Ms. Hagwald yet, but I have several certifications of different trainings that I've been to with Labette County Fire Department out to Wichita, up to I think it was Ottawa that I did a AFFF phone training for 8 hours up there. I mean, several hours of trainings and online stuff and all kinds of trainings. I was in charge whenever I was captain. I had to, like, either 2 or 3 months out of the year, it was captain's choice of training. Other than that, we had stuff that we trained on basically every month. So I've trained on car wrecks, I've trained on, we had a bus that the school here in Pleasanton was getting rid of, and we had kids come in. It was already turned on its side. We put kids in there. We made a big scenario of a mass training like that for where we need, what the fire department needs to do, what AMR needs to do, what the sheriff's department, things like that. So I mean, lots of training for car wrecks and things like that. One thing that you need to know is, in your firefighters, you need to know their capabilities and their limitations, because you always want to put somebody in a spot where they can succeed and not put somebody in a spot where they are going to fail. So, you know, knowing your firefighters, knowing what they can do for, and I'm talking about like entry into structure fires. You know, not everybody's good with dark spaces, not everybody's good with heights. That's something that I have to learn to know with these firefighters, what they're good at, what I can do to make them continue to get better at, and get the job taken care of.
I have more questions on everything. I'm sure everybody already knows too. You said from the ground up, so what is your plan to get this on, getting up?
As of right now, talking with the mayor, we have to come up with the standard operating guidelines. We have to come up with getting this gear situation taken care of. I've already been doing some reading, and yes, it states in there that your gear is only good for 10 years. But it says in there, there's some definitions that I'm pulling out because I'm trying to do the attorney side of things as well. That way I can explain it whenever I present it to you guys or whoever I need to present that to. The difference between like should and shall. They're in NFPA. You know, I think that I need to understand the way that they are using the words and how they put the words out there. You know, and whatever they're saying. So there is some definitions, and I don't have them with me tonight, but I will have them probably at the next council meeting of like what the definition of they specify what should means. You know, everybody here knows what should means, but how they put it in concept of what they are wanting to say, should, shall, some other words of what the definitions are. That because there is some gray area, it feels like, in some of the words, that is the way that it's written. So that's my plan of moving forward on. You know, there's a lot of stuff we gotta do. This is in a big hole. We gotta start filling it in one step at a time, and it's gonna take a lot of people. The fire department, the people at the station are ready and willing to back me to do what we can. I've got other people in the community that's got 20 to 30 to 40 years experience in the fire department and ready to help in any way that I can, that I need some guidance or where we should go. You know, there's several things we got to move forward with, but getting the fire department back in service and back to help the community is, I think, is going to be a big step in getting the community to start supporting it. Then we can get into getting trainings, you know, CPR trainings, SCBA trainings, stuff like that, to get our firefighters, make sure that they're safe and they know what they're doing. I do have several firefighters with experience, so I don't necessarily have to worry about that within the next couple of weeks, but you know, that's something that's a projected plan for in the future, to start getting everybody certified to be able to do what they can do.
And I have one more question, and I know the answer, but again, if any of us on the council comes and ask you what's going on and how the fire department's going and stuff, are you going to be willing to talk to us and tell us
I
exactly
will
what?
talk to anybody that comes and asks me a question. What I don't want to happen is I don't want to have 15 bosses.
Right,
I learned from the very beginning at the county level, whenever I was just, what would be a probie in the, city fire department stuff, there's a chain of command. So asking me questions of what needs to be done, what we're doing, I'm good with that. But, you know, if there's, pointing fingers, reprimanding, things like that, there has to be a chain of authority, chain of command, however you want to have it worded. And I'm going to be the same way with my firefighters. I will tell you, I'm always backing my firefighters whenever situations come up until I can't back them anymore. So, you know, if something happens, I'm gonna back my firefighters as long as they're doing what either I have trained them to do or we have somebody that comes in. As long as they're doing what they're trained to do, I'm gonna back them 110% all the way to the end until we have to do something different.
that's all I got. Thanks.
Yes, sir.
I got one quick one. The gear that we have right now, do you believe, or is it your feeling that we can respond to almost anything successfully except for a structure fire because we perhaps are lacking?
Last Thursday, the mayor called all the firefighters to the station to let them know about the situation and changing of command or whatever, however you want to word that to be politically correct. While we was there, we looked at the gear that's there. There is 5 complete sets, if I remember right, Mr. Mayor. I think there was 5 complete sets of gear that is good. So, you know, that would be 5 people that would be able to be in service, be able to do whatever the call come across. So that is actually 1 more person than what the minimum ISO requirement is.
Right.
So as soon as we get all of this done, we can get this fire service back, or the fire station back in service, get it moving forward, get some other training, get some other gear, whatever we gotta do to continue. We've got a couple of different ideas behind getting some gear for now until we can get stuff later. Cause I understand, I'm not gonna come in here and say, I know you can't buy $100,000 worth of gear and equipment and everything else. I totally get it. So we're going to have a plan, and I will put it together as a plan of this is what I would like to see, and then you guys can look at it and, you know, tweak it, change it, whatever we need to do. But we have to come to a compromise, and we all have to get together and try to move this forward.
Good. Any other discussion?
No,
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
So for consent of appointing Jeff Wisdom as fire chief, all in favor? Passes unanimous.
Mr. Mayor, I make a motion to, I spoke with the fire chief in reference to 4 sets of equipment. He's agreed that the Darley armor coat that I gave you guys last week at $3,495.80. That's the discounted price from the book. 4 sets would be $13,980. So my motion is that we go on ahead and purchase 4 sets because he has 2 other people that are wanting to come on board as well if they pass their interview and job hiring status.
Excuse me, Angie.
Yeah.
You'll need to make the motion to waive the bid policy unless you have bids for several different ones.
Okay.
Just make the motion to waive the bid policy for this and then you can do that.
How much was it? 13 what?
$13,980. With what we don't have in the fire department budget this year would come out of the apparatus budget to get the fire suits that we need to go. And I'm also in my motion wanting to waive the bid policy.
So the motion is to approve 4 sets of bunker gear totaling $13,980 and to waive the bid policy for this purchase. Is there a second?
I'll second.
Okay. Any discussion on that? Sir, you had a question. Could you come? Can you come up here, please? State your name and add.
Josh Marshall, live out Southview, 9807 Gifton Road. I was just curious on the gear, is that complete sets?
Yes, that's complete
Helmet,
sets.
Nomex, boots, gloves?
Yep, the complete sets with a bag.
Okay. That was my concern. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Okay, any discussion else? All in favor?
Yes.
Passes unanimous.
Mr. Mayor, we do have one other issue regarding the fire department. Now that we have a new chief, we're going to have to revisit the automatic aid agreement because there's a couple things on there that needs to be readdressed.
Okay,
Okay.
we'll have to.
We'll have to
That's a
wait.
separate meeting.
We'll have to wait that for another meeting since it's not on the pre-scheduled. So at this point, we could entertain a motion for adjournment of the special meeting.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor? Okay, special meeting is adjourned.
I don't think so.
I was going to terminate it for all right, we will go ahead and leave that on for the budget session. Can you just a moment?
You know, I don't want to say that City of Pleasant Fire Department and the county are the same, but together. Thank you, sir. Working together is. Thank you. Thank you. Congratulations. He is one of the mayor was talking to me about
So to maybe save you some trouble, they have got it cut to the 90 mils.
We have it cut to 90 mils
I
right now.
thought, you know, a couple of people had said something.
Off of this, like, I gotta go.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
That was it. What's here?
The police departments is what's on the other paper. The mayor has the numbers.
I am too.
And I gave him another number.
I'll be the first to
26 and
Okay,
17.
yes.
But we haven't cut hardly anything else out of there.
Yes.
But we've cut a lot of there. So do we have to cut, we have to cut more, right?
That actually gets us to the 90 mils that we need, cutting the rest of that.
Yeah, I don't wanna stop at 90 mils. I don't think that we should raise 15 mils worth of taxes. I'd like to get 85.
Yeah.
For 85, we need to cut $46,000.
Did you minus out the one? So it's still 46 even, or what's the amount, exact amount?
46,335 minus 770.
Minus 770. 46 or 45, 35, 65. cut 45, 565 out of the budget to get to 85 mils.
Out of the general, yes.
Did you say 45 what?
45, 565.
So cut that somewhere.
So all these changes in commodities, I noticed that they've all went up. I mean, the general went from 14 to 37, and then police went from 13 to 83 as far as this is showing cuts.
But gotta remember, police now has courts and codes in with it.
Codes is not figured into the police department.
5,000 of it is.
Did you not keep that in there? I thought you did.
No, all I took was animal control, and I took the codes in the general.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Okay, then part of it.
So 5,000 for animal control,
No, the codes.
or just
Is
codes?
for what, you put 5,000 for codes in there?
Yeah. And then it was like 2,500 for retirement benefits.
No, we put 20 hours every pay period of animal control out of police.
So why is there such large increases in each of the commodity subcategories?
Cause what?
Inflation.
So we went from 13,000 estimated this year to 83,000 next year for the police department?
The police department, we've cut down to everything.
That's not what I'm asking.
He's
I'm asking
asking about this particular line right
the
here.
commodities, you
I don't have
estimated
that
for
one.
$13,586 this year. And then next year, you're estimating $83,110. So it's a $70,000 increase.
He's asking, what does that cover? Do you know?
Tristan, do you wanna?
I have no idea.
Oh,
I didn't do that part.
The commodities on everything is up. I mean,
That's
basically,
what
what
I'm
is
asking you.
what does commodities cover?
Yes, like, why is the
I
police
did
department?
not, Tristan did the police
I
department.
did the police department, yes, but what goes into a commodities and stuff like that, I don't know. I just did the
Commodities
numbers.
is like your fuel, your equipment, your
Okay, I have
supplies.
$10,000 in equipment. I have $13,000 in fuel now. My budget has only raised 17 grand from last year.
that's
After
so
we
close.
took, I'm sure it is, after we took $25,000 out of part-time and took $5,000 out of fuel.
This year's estimate is 315,000, right? And then next year, we're at 516.
No, it's been lowered since we talked to the mayor, it's 473.
473.
258.
258.
So I see we're going from 315 to 516.
My budget last year was 460 with court.
Not the 315.
So my budget is literally going up like 17 or between 13 and 17,000.
So your budget for the police department is 473,258 for this year? That's what you're asking?
Yeah.
That's
You have to
what our
think
budget
that
is.
for the first 2 months of this year, I was the only full-timer. For the first 5.5 months, I only had 2 vehicles moving because Carmen was with me for training. I've only had 3 people on the road for a month and a half.
So how many officers are we still just doing 3 officers then?
Yeah, I have no money to hire for if we took all that out.
In 2024, did we have 4 officers?
No,
How many did we have in
for
2024?
almost 7 months, I was the only full-time officer in
In 24. Okay.
And he still pulled 2,807 cases in 2024, which no other department in the county even came close. Lynn Valley was at 930, Mound City was at 773, and Lacey was at 1646.
How many of those cases could we have rightfully and effectively placed onto the county?
None.
None.
None?
The county won't take cases inside the city limits.
Is that true of all municipalities?
Yes.
They won't work a case in Prescott unless they absolutely have to. If it's a high-ranking misdemeanor or a felony, they'll come in and they'll do it in Prescott. They don't do any type of other enforcement in Prescott at all.
Any department that has a full-time police department, or any city that has a full-time police department, the county leaves their cases to them.
In any city that doesn't have a police department, they do not like to go into either because they don't have a copy of the city ordinances or anything like that. So unless it's a case that they can send to the county, they don't like going into any municipality and doing any cases.
The county can't enforce any of our ordinances. All they can enforce is state statutes.
Okay.
Becky, if I understand correctly, the 5,000 that was cut from the fuel actually, the 5,000 that was cut from the fuel actually came out of the commodities segment of this, so it's actually just 78 at the moment.
So on the city council here, the capital outlay events,
That's your stars and stripes, your Christmas stuff, any movie days, any of your Easter egg hunts, all your events.
so instead of it being in like personal services, contractual services, and commodities, we moved it to events.
They wanted a special line item for it to be
Okay.
back up.
And then the personal services, that's city council pay.
Yes.
What about contractual services?
Contractual services would be, if you had any insurance, or if you had any bonds, if you had any trainings you went to.
Okay.
Very little, if any, on it. Contractual on your other ones would be your utilities are a big one, and they said to expect your utilities to go up 10%. So it doesn't affect that one, but it would affect the other departments.
In Parks and Recreation, we got a capital outlay of 71. Is that,
It was cut to 52,387.
was that based on putting in a new filter and replumbing the building, or?
The pool has its own, so that would be under the pool capital outlay. The parks capital outlay included like a match for a grant. We know we're gonna have to do some work on the erosion problem around the lake.
Okay. That's where the fix the hole stuff.
Part of it will probably come out of parks and probably part of it out of water.
Yeah. And the capital outlay on the pool was the filter and the repairs. If we were able to nurse the filter on for another year, could we cut that by half?
Yeah, that's up to you. I don't know how much a new filter would run, what kind of.
It's every bit of what we got there, plus a little more. I know that we probably have $6,000 to $7,000 in replumbing to fix a water leak that's underneath the slab right now. I think the filter will make another year. If we could drop that down and split that, put that over 2 years rather than
So
1
you
year.
wanna cut it to what?
Well, I'm suggesting it. This really is Rochelle's. I don't want to cut her budget without some thought, but do you think we could live with that filter for another year?
If we baby it. Yeah, that's-
Literally.
Yeah, that's really, honestly.
Compared to last year, the pool's been open more days.
Well, and plus, they've had like amazing turnouts.
Yeah.
So I would hate to cut it, if we don't have to. But I mean, I'm willing to,
Gay's been able to keep the pool under control. I think we can nurse it through at least one more year.
yeah.
But it is gonna be an expenditure that's gonna have to be addressed.
Yeah.
I don't know if we have to do it this coming year. But
We could go through and change the media again this winter. Try and treat it with some phospho or something on the inside to try and slow down some of the rust. There are 2 valves that need to be replaced. We can get suitable replacements from Menards for about $600 a piece, rather than the ones like are in there, which are 25. And that's stuff that we're capable of doing. We don't have to hire a contractor to come in and change out the valves. I hate to cut the budget on the pool because it's one of my pet projects, but if we could spread it over 2 years instead of planning all for next year, that would help. I'd like to see it as close to revenue neutral as possible. I mean, we can't get there, but we talked last meeting about the age of our population, the income of our population. We have people now that I believe are paying almost as much annually in property tax as what it cost them to buy their house originally when they moved here years ago. A lot of those people are on fixed income and have got to consider, well, do I eat or do I save for paying my taxes? I'd like us to be as frugal as possible.
So what would you like to change to?
we get away with 11,000, save 10 grand right there.
On the pool, are you talking about the pool? Sure.
If we can get the,
If we can baby it, and.
I think we can. I was overplaying with it this
You
afternoon.
know how to backwash.
Hmm?
You know how to backwash.
I did it this afternoon.
Thank you so much. See, I welcome your help. I welcome anybody's help, actually. I don't have a problem with people coming and helping on it.
That would save us some.
We got the 35,565.
Where did you put down to there?
11,000.
That's a little over $1 million.
Can I forego my paycheck?
I tried that last year. It's a horrible nightmare to try to do that.
I guess
A lot of paperwork.
I'm not gonna be here next year, never mind.
Let's see, maybe we
You can
work
forego
something
it.
out here.
It's been 8 years, so I'm always thinking about next year.
Is there anything under the water and sewer department that's actually charged against ad valorem taxes? Is there anything that we can move into the water or sewer without going negative? I know we're covering Josh, and John. Is there room for another body there? I'm about broke even.
Yeah, I see. That would be something I would have to work on.
That's a hard, because we're right almost at a zero budget balance.
Yeah, I could take a little bit more candies out of it, but then you turn around and you're getting, the other Josh is gonna be working in the water and wastewater, so that's gonna,
Yeah, Josh, and John. Because Candy does billing and what have you on the water.
yeah, hers is usually split between the water and the general.
Okay. Can't give it away, I can't give it away.
I don't want to get for budget, but, the compactor out there, do we have a window unit AC that we could loan to them?
Not that I know of, because I know they just had to go get a new one for the office over here. I would've thought they would have just been a small enough one they could have went to Walmart and got some of them too.
The gentleman out there, I forget his name.
Mike.
He said that they went down to Fort Scott, Walmart, to kind of get one rolled out, and then they went somewhere else. And I can pick one up tomorrow if the county's willing to pay for it, but I'm
I
not,
don't know how that would work.
I'm not sticking my neck out for the county right now.
What are you telling her over there, Jackie? You wanna tell her why?
Oh, just talking about different ways we could cut the budget.
As a casual outside, somewhat jaded observer, have you got recommendations where we would cut? Having listened to the county's fund, I mean, did we learn anything?
You know, the interesting thing, like, the way that the budget looks for 26 versus 25, I mean, that's really what I was looking at. I think Aaron had the same thought, is like, some of these seem to
Now,
be.
this isn't the actual budget.
Sure, I understand that. I'm just saying, like, on this paper, it says 0, for example, under government, right? It says 0 under capital outlay for 25, and then there's 9 there for 2026. And then the same thing down there for the fire department, for example, it says 0, and then it says 20,000, or they changed that 35 to 20,000 for 26. The city council, 0 to 16,000. Aaron just said that was stars and stripes, that sort of a thing. So that is, I think, misleading, because it seems like the money was rearranged from different categories from that. So the contractual side of it is a little difficult when you don't see the itemized
Items.
what those contracts make up. I honestly don't see any glaring fat on this budget.
In defense of the way it looks, because we have broken it down into what we didn't have before, we've got nothing to compare to it. We've
Right.
broken it down a little better.
I think so. I mean, one thing is, I know we're trying to grow the fire department and everything. So since some of that money was spent, or we made a motion this today to pay for it, is there any money that can be cut from that 50 grand? Cause that's, you had 13 grand for 25. So you're like 4 times that, you know?
Yeah.
So I know that we want to try and get more firefighters on, we're gonna have more equipment to purchase.
You just said you bought 4 sets of bunker gear, for example, with this year's budget. So I'm just saying.
And we already had it already over there too, the bunker gear.
No, what I'm saying is you just made a motion to buy 4
Yeah.
sets, but that's coming out of 2025.
So
So,
it's not coming out of the budget, it's coming out of the,
Apparatus.
but what I mean is it's not coming out of the 2026 money. So because of that, because we spent the money for the 2025 year, is there 5 or 6 grand that you could cut that by? Because that's still gonna be 4 times as much money that was available for the fire budget for
Because
2025.
we did authorize purchase of gear, the problem is, what we don't want to wind up with is like a lot of departments that spend a lot of money right up all at once and have all our gear expire at the same time.
Sure.
We need some of that in there next year. Part of the contractual services, I think, is going to be bringing the air compressor back online, doing a pump service if we have to.
I mean, I was kind of rounding, like, if that number in the middle was like 15 grand, for example, it's 13, but let's just pretend it's 15, so that would be like 45. So even just to cut 5 grand gets you closer. But I totally hear what you're saying. I wish that number could be 100,000, but we're kind of trying to get a little bit leaner.
what does the capital outlay for the fire department entail?
That would be your big equipment, your bunker gear, if you needed, new SCBA bottles that could come out of there. You're not just your gloves and your small items, but the bigger purchase, most of the time your capital outlay is at least over $500 on one item.
If we team with some other departments, we might be able to drop some of the contractual services stuff.
Well, I think,
I hate to cut this department we just resurrected and cut their feet up from underneath them.
I think with what Jacqueline said, yes, we purchased 4. We could probably get away with 15,000. I mean, that's still almost double the, budget of last year, close to.
22 was the
Yeah.
budget for this
Yeah.
year.
So 45 would double it, yeah.
We'd still double the budget, but it would also save us another 5,000.
So switch the capital outlay to 15.
Yeah, switch it to 15, especially since we've already purchased some gear.
30,565 left to get to your 85. I don't know if you can get there, but
We're gonna
So
try.
when I stepped in for the mayor on this revenue neutral, it was originally 107, and we cut it back to 94. By the time I came in and talked to you, Becky,
I think so.
and I said I'd like to set it at 90 with the goal of hitting 85. I think the goal was 85 because I think that's more than enough to raise taxes on people around here. If we were to make the $26,000 cut now, what is our mill? Is it 80? What is it? 87 and a half, roughly.
Yeah, each mill's worth 92.67.
So 2.5 mils roughly. So we'd be right around 87 and a half. Angie, do you see any areas you want seen?
Gotta remember, revenue neutral is a very, very slippery slope. And if we keep cutting it, when we do have to raise it, it's gonna be astronomical.
I get that, but we're already raising it 10 mils if we were to get to 85. Because the revenue neutral is at 74.
Mhm.
So we're going up to 11 mils if we get to 85. That's
How much is
$110,000.
Parks and Rec down now?
162.387.
Okay, so it was 66 last year, and we went up almost
No,
a half
that's not last year's budget, that's the
Okay.
estimate for this year.
for this
So
year,
far.
so far.
But a lot of your park expenses don't come out until this time of year.
Okay.
The estimates for the pool and the parks are kind of misleading because you don't have any of your expenses until you get ready to work on the budget.
And that's why I was asking about the budget from last year being 315 to 515, because I was confused about that also.
Yeah, those are just estimates based on what our expenses are so far, but they are, on the pool and park especially, they are kind of misleading because you don't have a lot of expenses until summer.
All right, but we already cut the new mower out of the budget that was in, and
there's another question. You had said that capital outlay was for the match for the grant for the erosion. Is that the 52,387? Is there any fat on that?
She's already cut it from 71 to 52,387.
Yeah, I mean, there's just a lot of improvements in the ways that not only are want list, they're more necessities. If we don't get the erosion quit around the lakes, we're
Right.
gonna have a problem. We've got to get the dam fixed.
but the letter that you sent out today, where we got the grant and stuff, that you said this is good news.
Oh no, that is a FEMA.
That's
That is
FEMA.
for the, all of our expenses from the flooding last year.
Okay,
We're going to get reimbursed for the
For
part,
those.
that much of it on the debris section of it. That has nothing to do with the budget. That's money
Okay.
that the FEMA will pay us back for
okay.
expenses.
Is that public knowledge?
It will be, yeah.
It is now.
It's 62, right? 6,200 is what we're getting back from FEMA?
I can't remember the exact
Hold
amount,
on.
but yeah, that's what we're getting back on that part of it, on the debris pickup, the, sinkhole
So I don't-
and
I
the
just
sewer
don't
line
see fat on
and
this.
the, replacement
I don't
of
either.
culverts, those
You're
sections
already
are still under review.
Sucking the phone.
I mean, we cut another $15,000 off of the budget.
And you guys don't have to set this tonight, I mean, we can still as long as it is set, 10 days before, you've got like another week before I have to send it into the paper for publication. So if you want to.
So what are we at right now? With these totals that we have,
So mill levy?
yes.
Or total?
What mills are we at?
Approximately 87.5. So we were at 90 with 46,335 to cut minus the 770. We took $15,000 off. So I guess that's not right, is it?
I think we're almost down to 90.
No, we're down to about 87.
Yeah, because we took $15,000 off, so it would be 88.5, roughly.
Yeah, you took 1.62 mils off, basically.
So 88.44. 3-4. I've been up since 3 o'clock. Math is not working.
I mean, 88.38, otherwise 88.4, however you want to say that.
So if that calculation is correct at 88.4 mils, then we've dropped the original budget $500,000, $550,000.
From 107 to
From 1.3 million down to 820,000,
Have the total on.
somewhere around there.
Are you guys good with the way it is now?
I'm kind of with Jacqueline, there's not a whole lot we can cut right now. Or not right now, but there's not a whole lot to cut.
So my concern for you guys is just that there's just really not a lot of wiggle room. I totally get the revenue neutral rate and the mills and all of that, but you've left yourself very little room for even any emergencies. I feel like if you cut it more than this, I'm not sure what even cash you have like left in the bank type of a thing, and something goes wrong. It's very, very thin margin we have here. I think a couple things that you can do though in the next month is if everybody tightens their belts in all the departments for the balance of the year, you grow that cash base, you know, from not spending out of the 2025 budget. You're at least setting yourself up for better success when you redo the budget in 2026.
We're at zero.
Each
we're
department
zero-based
though,
budget.
with that
They're
money
pretty much
that they
spent it.
don't
It's hard to
spend, would that
carry
go
it.
back to their department?
You'll have a cash carryover, but unless you budget it for next year, you have the cash, but you can't spend it unless it's budgeted, unless you do a budget amendment.
Okay.
Now, if it comes to the end of the year and say you have 5,000 left in the fire department. If you want to encumber that, you can say, I want to encumber it for $5,000 for bumper gear. You can't just say, I'm gonna put it towards next year's budget. You have to say an amount, and it has to be for a specific thing. And you can do that on any department. If
Okay.
you have cash carryover, that you know, if there's something, even the water, any department, they can say, if you're gonna have enough, you can encumber that money.
How would we go about doing that for each department, so we could carry money over for each department, like for water and police and fire and all the departments?
Well, you don't want to encumber all of your cash carryover. This is just be if you have extra. If you know you're gonna have extra.
Okay, and what's the date deadline that we have to do
You
that?
have to make a motion at the last council meeting of the year.
Okay,
And each one will have to be a separate motion.
okay,
We can sit down and do 300 motions if we have to, but
I think that's a good idea.
at least
You're at least letting your citizenry know that
Right.
you're planning ahead and that you don't expect to be in the same position come budget year next time around. But at this moment, nothing is glaring out to me because your risk is going over budget. So as much as you want it to be as close to R&R as possible, going over budget is very bad no-no.
That's a very, very bad no-no. So we have until the last budget meeting.
The last
To do it.
meeting.
Just the one thing is you don't want to spend all your cash carryover. You want to carry over.
Okay.
So,
That's good news. Thank you, Becky. I think we should let Becky put the numbers out all together and make it in cohesive so that we don't have 15 million chicken scratches here. Or we could look at it as one paper without all the little wishes
have
and
that ready by
things.
next meeting.
I think that would help me a lot, I know. Thank you.
Well, I feel a lot better from where we were whenever we sent in that we were exceeding our revenue neutral, so. I think we had to exceed revenue neutral for the first time, like 2 years ago?
yeah, and that's a problem a lot of people have is everyone always wants to stay that way, but
You
that
can't.
inflation goes up, and if you don't go up a little bit every time, then you're gonna get into that.
Not exceeding revenue neutral has a lot to do with the county's finances right now. The fact that they didn't
Yeah.
end
There'll
up.
be a lot of people that are not happy come this public hearing.
Oh, I'm not happy either, but
I get it.
I don't see where there is an awful lot to cut. I mean, the first thing that they tell you when you go to school to be a public official is thou shalt not cut public services. We have precious few public services anyway to cut, so.
You read that one?
Well, I would hope we're not on overtime right now, being protected. Everybody go buy a lottery ticket. That's, you know, but got about the same chance there as, some of the things that we see in the commodities going up is stuff that we've talked about here a while back, adding in preparation for future stuff.
I mean, that's where else you run into trouble is that, like, one thing is the roads, right? People are really upset about the roads.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, well, that costs money. So it's like this tension between please don't raise my taxes, but also please fix my roads. Also, I don't wanna have to wait when I call the police to come to my house. So there's just a tension there.
So we are done for today then?
You else have anything?
I make a motion,
Okay.
we're not
Yep.
ready.
we're not in-